My name is Pathan Arifa Khatun, and all of you, till now, you have come to know I am from Wali Sifes English Municipal Secondary School. We are here for Science and Technology 1, Standard 9. Okay, so as you all know, in the last two lectures, we have started with the chapter number 13, Carbon and Important Element. And from that chapter, we have completed two topics about crystalline form of carbon. One was the diamond. The first one was diamond, second was the graphite, and the third one is fullerene. So we'll again take a recap of the previous lecture, what in which we have studied about fullerene and graphite also. In the question answer sessions, all of you students have answered me the questions asked by me very well, and so the same thing we are again going to recap, and hope you will answer me today also. So this is one of the crystalline form of carbon, fullerene, and we all know it is rarely found in nature. This is what the structure, the ball-like structure which you can see. It is a structure of fullerene, and the blue dots we can tell they are the carbon atoms. They are the carbon atoms and how they are bonded together. So fullerene is found actually very less in the nature. It is found in soot. Soot, I told you, soot, SOOT soot. It is nothing but a blackish powder, a dust. And interstellar spaces. Interstellar spaces means what? If these atoms of fullerene, they are found mm, between the spaces of the stars. That is the interstellar spaces. And the example of fullerene is Buckminster fullerene, C60. Symbolically, it is known as C60. And we have also discussed how the name was given Buckminster fullerene. Actually, it happened like there was an architect. His name was Sir Richard Buckminster Fuller. So once he has designed a dome, a building which consisted of many domes. So dome is nothing but a structure which is round in shape, like one of a masjid and all, like Taj Mahal. You might understand, and you might be imagining what I want to tell. So that dome structure which he designed, so the architect was Richard Buckminster Fuller, and so there was no any connection between the discovery of fullerene and Buckminster, but only the name is given on his name. But later on, Sir Harold Kroto, Robert Kerr, and Richard Smalley, these were the people, those who actually worked on the discovery of fullerene. So they were awarded with Nobel Prize in 1996 for the discovery of fullerene. And the architect just designed the dome, and his name was Fuller. So in that way, that this particular crystalline form of carbon was named as Buckminster Fuller. Then there are some other examples of fullerene. They are C60, which we are studying right now. This is the fullerene only. C70, C76, different forms, C82, C86. They are some of the another examples. And their molecules occur in very small number in soot. These other examples which I'm telling you, C70, C76. So their molecules are very, very less in soot powder also. And fullerene, you might find some atoms or some molecules, but if we see about other C70, 76, and 82, they are very less. So in this way, we have seen about the properties also of fullerene. Okay, the first one is there were only three properties. So let us revise them once again. We'll just to go through. Number one, molecules of fullerene are found in the form of buckyballs. We can see the structure itself says it is like a ball only, and there are 30 to 900 carbon atoms in one molecule of fullerene. See, so many carbon atoms because we cannot uh, see with our naked eyes atoms. They only can be observed with the help of electron microscope. So there are about 30 to 900 carbon atoms in one molecule of fullerene, and fullerene are soluble in organic solvents. such as carbon disulfide and chlorobenzene. Keep these two words in mind. Okay, carbon disulfide and chlorobenzene, these are the two solvents in which fullerene can be dissolved. Another one, the uses of fullerene. Yes. The very first one use, fullerenes are used as insulators. I told you about insulators. Okay, what are insulators? Like we use different types of wire for electrical purpose in our houses, and all they conduct electricity. So the thing which conduct electricity is actually the metal wire. But the upper surface, which is sometimes black in color, which sometimes blue in color, red and yellow also. So that part is actually the insulators. So in that insulators are made from fullerenes. Then the next one, fullerenes are used as catalyst in water purification. For water purification, fullerenes are used as catalyst. We have defined about catalyst also. Third one, at a certain temperature, fullerenes exhibit superconductivity. That means in short, we can say that fullerenes are very good conductors of electricity. Okay. Then this was also the crystalline form of carbon. This is graphite. We can see how shiny it is. The very first picture where graphite is written to your right side, you can see the different layers. है ना? So graphite is found in natural state in Russia, New Zealand, America, and India. The lead which we use in our pencils for writing purpose, it is made by mixing graphite and clay. And this process was discovered by Sir Nicholas Jacques Conti in the year 1795. See how shiny graphite is. It is blackish in color, shiny as well, plus slippery also. We'll see about its smoothness. Structure of graphite. Here the structure of graphite, how the carbon atoms are bonded each other like in a hexagonal shape. Three carbon atoms are bonded together one by a single bond only. And each carbon atom is bonded to three carbon atom in such a way that a hexagonal means six-sided structure is formed. And the crystal of graphite is made up of many sheets of layers of carbon atom. In the earlier picture, we have seen it. These layers slip over each other on applying pressure. When you will hold in your hand uh, the graphite, when you hold in your hand and if you will press with your thumb and your forefinger, so it will get slip. And the reason for its slipping is it has layers one above the another, and that layers they slip when you press with a hand when you apply pressure. One layer of graphite is called graphene. The spelling is itself given here, and you can also refer to your textbook. Same thing is written. One layer of graphite is called graphene. This is how the structure of graphite and the carbon atoms are bonded in this way. Next, the uses of we have also seen the uses of graphite. Graphite is used in pencil, then graphite is used in arc lamp. है ना? In the last previous lectures, we have seen. So up till now, we have studied about the crystalline forms of carbon. So there were the very first one was our diamond. We have seen the structure, properties, uses. Second one was the graphite, same structure, property, uses. And the last one was fullerene, structure, property, and uses. Now we come to next form of carbon, next state of carbon. We can also say that state of carbon. This is the non-crystalline form of carbon. Or second name for non-crystalline is amorphous forms. Let us see about some of the properties of non-crystalline form. See here. The arrangement of carbon atom is irregular. Arrangement of carbon atom is irregular. That means this form of carbon, it does not have a regular shape. Whereas crystalline they have, because the arrangement of carbon atom is regular. They have different geometrical shape. But non-crystalline form, in this form, the arrangement of carbon is irregular. That's why they don't have any particular shape. Non-crystalline forms of carbon are, there are again three non-crystalline forms of carbon. The very first one is coal. The second one is charcoal, and the third one is coke. Okay, these are the three non-crystalline forms of carbon. Let us see them one by one together. First one, coke. The first one is coal. We all have seen it. We all have been using it from many times. And very old times we are using coal. So it is a fossil fuel. Coal is a fossil fuel. I have also told you what is fuel and fossil fuel. It is understandable the things which are found inside the earth and those who are buried under the earth that were the that are the fossils. So amongst those fossils, coal is also the one of them. So what does it contain? It contains carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Okay. It also contains nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur. It occurs in the solid forms. It is of four types. Yes. Now you'll think, ma'am, solid form, then it might be having some shape. Yes, solids they have shape. Coal is also a solid, but it does not have a regular proper shape. It does not have. So there are again four types of coal. Let us see what are they. See this coal. It has four types: pit, ignite, bituminous coal, anthracite. Four types of coal: pit, ignite, bituminous coal, and anthracite. Okay. So these were the types of coal. See, these are the stages of coal formation. These are the stages of coal formation. The very first is pit, decay of vegetative material. How coal is formed? If you're telling that coal is a fossil fuel, then these are the stages where coal is formed. The very first one is decay of vegetative material. Vegetative material, we can understand all the plants and all, and whatever that falls on the ground, it comes under vegetative materials. And second one is the lignite. The second form of coal is the lignite, and it consists of compressed peat. compressed peat, that is जिसको हम इकट्ठा बोलेंगे या एक तरफ जो है compressed peat. Third stage is bituminous coal. Again, the more harder form of lignite, that is the bituminous coal. And the fourth one is anthracite, considered by some to be a type of metamorphic rock. The coal, which is the fourth form of coal, that is the anthracite coal, it is also considered as metamorphic rock. It is also considered as metamorphic rock. Now peat, let us see how peat is formed. The first form, peat formation, is the first step of coal. It contains high proportion of water. See, I told you when peat is formed and after that lignite is formed. So this is the decay of vegetative material, and in the second one, it becomes little what harder as it goes on stages. So peat is the first step. It contains high proportion of water and less than 60% of carbon. More water and less than 60% of carbon. You can say 60-40 it is, but we can take it as 50-50 also. Therefore, not much heat can be obtained. Yes, there is less carbon, no? So if you'll burn it, peat, not a we cannot get luminous light or good amount of heat from peat. So second, lignite. Peat was transferred into lignite due to increased pressure. Pressure is applied to it and temperature inside earth. It contains 60 to 70% carbon, and it is the second step of coal. We are seeing only in the slide itself. Third one, bituminous coal. It is the third step of coal formation and it contains 70 to 90% of carbon. We get a good amount of heat if we'll burn bituminous coal. And the fourth one, the final stage for coal formation is the anthracite. Anthracite is known as the pure form of coal. This coal is hard and contains 95% of carbon. And it is understood that if it contains 95% of carbon as well as it is hard, so we get a very good amount of heat from it. Huh? So these were the stages of coal formation. We have three non-crystalline form, that is the coal, coke and charcoal. But coal, it consists of four sub parts. That is the formation of coal consists of peat, ignite, bituminous coal and anthracite. Next one, this is charcoal. This is the second one, charcoal. The charcoal that is made from animal is made from their bones and horns. Yes, charcoal is made from bones and horns. On the other hand, the charcoal made from plants is formed by combustion of wood, burning of wood in an insufficient supply of air. If charcoal is prepared from animals, then it is made by from their bones and horns. And if it is prepared from plants, it is formed by the combustion of wood in an insufficient supply of air. Burning of wood when there is less oxygen, at that time charcoal is formed. The earlier one, that is coal, its uses are, coal is used as fuel in factories and homes. Yes, even today coal is used. And the very common example which we can see while going in the market or somewhere, that istriwala, yes, he used this coal for ironing purposes. And if we'll see in village side, so still today coal is used or wood is burned and we get coal from that, then coal is also used for some other purposes and factories also. In fact, uh, in the hydroelectric power station, coal is used to obtain steam. No, that is in hydroelectric power station, not coal. It is not used there. It is used in thermal power station. Then coal is used to obtain coke, coal, gas, and coal tar. And third one, coal is used in thermal power plants for generation of electricity. Then the third part, we are finished with coal, charcoal. And the last one, coke. The pure coal that remains when coal gas has been taken away from coal is coke. The pure coal, that means the anthracite one, that remains when coal gas has been taken away from coal. At that time, coke is formed. Uses again for coke is, it is used as domestic fuel. It is used as a reducing agent in chemical reactions. In third one, it is used in the production of water gas, CO plus H2 and producer gas, CO plus H2 plus CO2 plus N2. Okay. So these were the two different types of non-crystalline form of carbon, charcoal and coke. So after finishing this um, crystalline and non-crystalline form, the second topic for us is the hydrocarbons, which are the basic organic compounds. Hydrocarbons, which are the basic organic compounds. Let us see what are they. Hydrocarbons. Hydro, hydrogen, carbons, carbon. The name itself indicates. If you will just observe only the word hydrocarbons, I'm sure you will be able to define it. Okay. So the compounds. formed from only one carbon and hydrogen are called basic organic compounds. Yes, the compounds which are formed from one carbon and hydrogen. They are called as basic organic compounds, that is hydrocarbons. These are also called hydrocarbons only. We are defining hydrocarbons only. A carbon atom can form four covalent bonds, single bonds. In hydrocarbons, there is only one carbon. So this carbon atom, it can form four covalent bonds, single bond, with other carbon atoms or atoms of different elements. If you're talking about hydrocarbon, so another thing which is important to remember is the is the covalent bond. Is the covalent bond which is formed with carbon as well as with another elements. Let us take hydrogen. Only hydrogen only. In hydrocarbon, there will be only hydrogen and carbon. So this carbon atom, it can form four four covalent bonds with other carbon atom and also with different elements. See how it forms. How it forms. We are talking about the carbon atom or how it forms a single covalent bond with another. So here, when a carbon atom shares one electron each with four hydrogen atoms and form four CH bonds, a methane molecule is formed. One carbon atom, and four hydrogen atom, and they are bonded together with single bond or covalent bond. So when a carbon atom shares one electron each with four hydrogen atoms and forms a CH bond, methane molecule is formed. If you'll observe both this figure, the left one also and the right one also, you will find there is only one carbon and there are four hydrogen atoms. So in this way, just in this way, it a methane molecule is formed and that is CH4. That is CH4. Now we know the electronic configuration of carbon is 2 and 4. Yes. So if 4 electrons are added to the second orbit of carbon, its octets become complete. Yes. When the octet is completed, when there are 8 electrons in the outermost shell, and it becomes octet is complete and its electronic configuration become stable of carbon, like that of neon. Now you might, I don't know whether you will understand because neon is a new, just so in this way, we'll see up to the octet is completed when 8 electrons are there in the outermost shell. So here, in this way, the methane molecule is formed. That is CH4. Remember always, it is a first hydrocarbon. It is the first hydrocarbon of the alkane group. And after that, there are many which we will be studying in 10th standard also. So after this, let us see the properties of covalent compounds. Covalent compounds. The first one is covalent compounds have low melting point and boiling point. Covalent compound, they have low melting point also and low boiling point also. Second, generally they are insoluble in water. They are insoluble in water and soluble in organic solvents. Okay. Third one, they are poor conductors of heat and electricity. That means they don't conduct electricity. Second, this is about saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Now, we have just seen about the hydrocarbons, but hydrocarbons are divided into, or they are uh, divided into two hydrocarbons. They are the saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. For this also, we have two different definitions for this. Now, carbon exists a specific property. It can form a chain, no? It can form a chain of carbon atoms by forming covalent bonds with other carbon atom, and also with different elements. The hydrocarbon having only single bonds between carbon atoms are called saturated hydrocarbons. Okay, the hydrocarbons which forms only single bond between carbon and carbon, they are called saturated hydrocarbons. Example for this is ethane. This is the second member of alkane group. The first one we have seen methane, है ना? Methane, and this is the second one, ethane. The third one is propane. So its molecular formula is C2H6, C2, C dash C. That dash is nothing but the single bond, and to that both carbon atom you can attach one six hydrogen to it on both its side. Then it becomes a ethane, and likewise propane. So propane has 3 carbon atoms and 8 hydrogen atoms. So this is the saturated hydrocarbons. So the definition for saturated hydrocarbon is again hydrocarbons having only single bonds between carbon atom. They are called saturated hydrocarbons. Okay. Now some hydrocarbons they have multiple bond, more than one, between two carbon atoms. Now these bonds can be double bond or triple bond. So such hydrocarbons having at least one multiple bond are called unsaturated hydrocarbon, or in simple words, hydrocarbons having double bond or triple bond, they are called unsaturated hydrocarbons. For example, ethene. Actually, it is ethene, ETHENE. See a double bond. CH2, CH2. And this is ethyne. Ethyne. When it will become ethyne, it will have triple bond. And when it will be ethene, ETHENE, it will be CH2, CH2, double bond, CH2. So again, what are the unsaturated hydrocarbon? The hydrocarbons having double bond or triple bond, they are called as unsaturated hydrocarbons. Okay. Likewise, we can say the other member was propane for alkane group. For alkane, it will be propene, and for alkyne, it will be propyne. Okay. In this way, we have completed the hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons, we have seen the definitions, the compounds formed from only one carbon and one hydrogen. Carbon and hydrogen, they are called as hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are further divided into saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Saturated are the ones which have single bond between the carbon atoms. Example was ethane. And the unsaturated hydrocarbons which have double bond or a single bond, they are called as unsaturated hydrocarbons. And the examples for that was ethene, propene, ethyne, propyne. If we'll talk about ethene, it would be ETHENE, propene, PROPENE. and ethyne, ETHYNE, and propene, PROPYNE. I hope you have understood up to this. And with all this, we will come to our last part, that is the evaluation part. So please read all the questions which you can see on the screen and try to answer. Okay. Hello, Mayur sir. Hello.
Yes, teacher.
Sir, can we unmute some students for this evaluation part?
Sure, teacher, sure.
See, if you, those who are raising their hand, you give them, you unmute them. Okay, na?
Yes, Sakshi Moria.
So, okay. The question number 1 is fill in the blanks.